All right, Scorpio and Ophiuchus, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for January 1st to the 7th of 2018, and this video is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out that link down below. We're using the actual signs of the constellations, which does change the signs from mainstream astrology. All right, so Scorpio and Ophiuchus, we have a full moon right at the beginning of the week in your 8th house. This is the house of depth, vulnerability. It's actually your house of healing and transformation. And so a lot of this being illuminated, especially if over the past 6 months you have been starting anything new with transformation or healing and empowerment in your life through that, which now is coming to a forefront. So great part of the week to do the status check, and you may find you want to implement a bit more of this depth, intimacy, and openness in your life. Some of you, this could be pertaining to shared resources. So if there's anything like that in brewing, could be also harvesting around this time as well. All right, so we do have some supportive aspects involving this full moon this week, but the most important being over the weekend, your ruler Mars is conjoining up to Jupiter, which will be in your 12th house of spirituality and everything deeper in life. So I think a fantastic weekend for getting in touch with the spiritual dimension of yourself, having a bit more of this receptive approach, getting some rest and relaxation, meditation, things like that. I think there's some fantastic opportunities for that tranquility in your life in general. All right, so Scorpio and Ophiuchus, let's look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's your chart for the week. We have this full moon in this 8th house of yours right on Monday. This now awareness and illumination of what truly matters most in life. All right, what truly matters most, and even of the deeper dimensions of ourself and of life. But it's a very supportive full moon. There's a lot of supportive energy with this. And the full moon can give us that insight, which then we want to implement. So with whatever you're gaining insight about regarding what matters most, regarding the importance of vulnerability with ourself, with life, with relationships, and maybe even shared resources as well, money coming to you, money owed to you, debts, loans, things like this. With this sort of awareness, I think it's a great week for implementing some of this and really implementing it for the next 6 months, since this is part of the solar cycle. So a lot of this is in the context of the fact that recently a lot of you have been more focused on your resources or finances this past couple weeks. The Sun and Venus are in the 2nd house. Saturn here helping you really ground your resources for the next couple years, work within your limitations there. But great to be focused on this area and to really find that balance between the material life, which is great to focus on, like I said, with the more non-material life, the spiritual life, what goes beyond the veil of the material, right? And connecting on that level. And it's a great time to be self-reliant with all this energy in your 2nd house, right? Finances, resources, but then also realizing that we live in an interdependent world and we can rely on others, right? And lean on others and that kind of thing, and have that trust in others as well if it's on that material or even emotional level. So great to find that balance. And like I said, there's a lot of support with this week. On Tuesday, Neptune does sextile up to the Sun into the 2nd house, so there could be some easygoingness involving your self-worth, involving the resources, and maybe even with your career as well, actually. Maybe a bit of easygoingness there. Now, Uranus does go direct in your 5th house on Tuesday, so there is this now forward-moving energy, I think, with your self-expression. If you felt like over the past 6 months, maybe if it's been more on the back burner, or things that you enjoy in life have been more on the back burner, that's starting to move forward for you. And this is very much about freedom of self-expression, freedom of spending time with the things and people that put a smile on our face, and that kind of stuff. All right. And then Wednesday, Venus does sextile Neptune, so there's more positive support going into the 2nd house of resources. Again, that easygoingness. And maybe even too in terms of relationships for you on Wednesday specifically, since Venus does rule your 7th. So the week does end on Saturday with Mars, your ruler, going over Jupiter in your 12th house, really expanding the deeper dimensions as well, just like the 8th house. But here, in terms of what we can accept about ourselves or of life, that leads to more peace and tranquility, and maybe getting some rest, some alone time, some spiritual time out. It's a very beautiful house. It's really the house of finding true happiness in life. Not the fleeting type, but the type of spiritual liberation of living in the now moment and having more acceptance in life, right? So great weekend for anything involving this. Also psychology, music, the arts, creativity, great for that. And then fundamentally, I think that rest and tranquility. But there's this motivating side to it too. Maybe you're doing some active things or willing yourself in this area, which is an interesting, it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds for you. Saturday, Mercury does trine up to Uranus as well. So there's this very freeing energy about the weekend. For you, I think it's about communication. It's about learning. That could get activated this weekend. And maybe some things involving your friends or your groups or community stuff could be mixing some things up in your life, trying some new and different things in that area could be nice. And again, it's from this 5th house of self-expression, having some fun and getting in touch with that creative side. All right, so Scorpio and Ophiuchus, have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon for the next forecast.